Excited for the freshman class that we brought in.
Talk a little bit about the linebackers behind your starters, and first the example they set, and then the guys that are behind them.
Yeah, I mean, first of all, those linebackers, Jay Sean and Ernest, to start off, I think two of the best ones in the country. They're going to surprise a lot of people, which is par for the course. But I feel like we got a good nucleus of guys behind them that can really challenge them and push them. So super excited about those guys.
What went into the thought process of bringing Amarion back, and he going to be playing wide receiver?
Yeah, he's gonna play wide receiver. He went to Ole Miss and reached out to people, players. I heard rumbling before. I was like, listen, I can't talk to him, whatever. And he went in the portal, and something we knew we wanted to pursue. So elite playmaker, fast. I mean, he's been working. He looks great. He's long lane, but he's fast as ever. So we're excited about that.
The 4 new DBs coming in, how do you view them and their fit in this
Yeah, we'll see. It's a competitive culture. It's the depth chart is an ever-flowing organism that we just let ride, and just excited to see who wins battles. So it's great to have competition in depth.
It seemed like several of those guys are versatile. They can play inside or out. Is that something you guys like when you're looking at them?
Yeah, I think we just try to find the best players guys that fit us. That's the most important piece for us.
Mason and Kenneth together, just talk about having those guys in there and what a big difference that makes.
Yeah, I mean, obviously all the preseason hype, but we try not to get wrapped up on that because that really doesn't mean anything until we get to the field. So we know those guys are going to get pushed by the guys behind them, but those guys are setting a high standard for what their play is going to be like, so super stoked for them.
What did you see from them this spring in terms of taking it to the next level?
Yeah, I mean, they just tried to define every piece of their game, whether it's pad level, hands, footwork, movement in gaps, physicality, and they played obviously at an extremely high level, but they want to set the standard for what that play looks like inside.
You mentioned Amarion. You had the second receiver. Do you guys feel better about where that position group is now going into the?
Yeah, I feel good about it. I feel really good. People forget about the guys like Tyler Morris and Samad Morgan and Frederick Moore and all those guys. So super stoked for them, and Kendrick Bell's another guy we're excited about. So we got a good depth, and obviously when you got tight end like Colston Loveland, you got a great receiver body there as well. So him and Marlon Pine in the tight end position, we're super excited about.
What's been the most interesting part for you in these first few months? Any surprises or anything?
Not many surprises. I think more of just less football. I used to sit in a room and watch film all day, and that's not the case anymore. I can sneak away. That's like my little vacation time is when I sneak away and put on football. So just not as much football.
Usually when a team wins a national championship or even is just plays as good as you guys did last year, there's a lot of hype coming into that next year, but it kind of seems like a lot of teams around you are the ones getting the hype. Do you kind of feel like that allows you guys to have another chip on your shoulder like you've had the last few years?
Yeah, I mean, people are going to say what they want to say, and we just kind of blank all that stuff out, whether it's good or bad, because people are going to like you a lot or they're not going to like you. So we're just going to put our head down, work, and let the process do itself.
What's the idea of adding all the recruiting staff and changing that? What's the goal there? What are you guys trying to do versus maybe what you did in the past?
I mean, we want more help. I have a different vision of what I want it to look like, and just different people having different details, and not going to put all the details out there, but just having more arsenal, more ammo in there to help us in the recruit staff.
How much is getting that organized kind of maybe created a delay? I mean, so far you've only had 3 commitments, but I mean, do you feel like the momentum is, or I guess the infrastructure's in place now to kind of hit the ground running?
Yeah, we just want to bring the right people in, so never in a rush to just have numbers and have people commit just to commit. So we want to make sure it's dissected the right way, make sure they get on campus, make sure we know who they are, and they know who we are. So that's all we're trying to do.
Go ahead. I know you've been asked about the quarterbacks. How comfortable are you, waiting to find out who the starter is going to be? I mean,
very comfortable.
Are you willing to wait until the end of camp?
I'm not going to answer any questions about the quarterback situation.
Kenneth and Mason seem kind of like kindred spirits. These guys are pretty tight. Has they been that way since they got here?
They have.
What are they like?
You've seen them grow even more, but they've really tied in. They've really, really bought in just to the culture and who they are and what they want to be and what they want to, what their legacy they want to be. They saw guys like Blake Palm and Mikey and Chris Jenkins and how they become Michigan legends, and they want to do that too. And they've obviously put themselves at a high standard and high calling there now, but they've really taken it to a new level. But yeah, they've always been really close.
Are they similar personalities?
Yeah, I mean, they're both really laid-back guys, relaxed. They're not overly, like, hyper. But when they get on the field, they're both, different. So
How's Rod Moore doing, and do you expect him back at all during the season?
we'll see. He's doing great, though. He's doing great. Recoveries ahead of schedule. And so we're just super excited that it went the way it went and that we can handle it. So super excited for him, and we'll see what happens.
I remember there being talk about before we got to the spring game that you guys felt like you got a steal in Jay-Sean Barham. Now that you've kind of gotten to see him through an entire spring, how good can he be?
Yeah, he's really good. He was the guy that when we played Maryland every year, we're like, we got to deal with number one. And to have him on our team now is super awesome. And you talk about a phenomenal human being, kid. Doesn't say anything, he just puts his head down and works. And when he's on the field, you feel him. So super stoked for him.
Who are the guys behind them that are pushing for time?
Yeah, Jaden Hood's one, Jimmy Rolder as well, and then you got a bunch of young guys that have played, and you got to see. So those are the main two right now behind them, but we'll see what happens as we go through.
Last year, obviously, a big experienced group, and then maybe a little more of a slower build into the peak of the season. Maybe a little more the opposite this year, not quite as much experience and a lot up front. I wonder, what are the similarities, the differences to just sort of how you ramp into the season that starts really early?
Yeah, I mean, I think every team's different. You go back to 21 when we were a younger team and we had less experience and we were pretty good. So it's about the work we put in now. The guys are there working now, and we're just happy for them because they're back in their home and they've all been home. They've all got time with their families, got a little break, and now they're all ready to just get to work and put that forward.
We know you guys say equal respect to all the opponents. Is there knowing, and when you look ahead at the schedule this year, is there a little more there? I mean, defending a couple of teams that are in the playoff, big break brains.
We know we got a great schedule, but we're not going to look ahead and make one bigger. They're all as equal values. So we know the standard of the team we have to beat down south, and we always express that and work for that. But every team every game is a big game. So we're going to treat every single like that.
When you're replacing the entire offensive line, how much is mobility an advantage for a quarterback, I guess, when you're trying to kind of integrate an entire game?
I mean, we just want the best quarterback. It doesn't matter if it's mobile or not. We're always want a mobile quarterback, but we want the best quarterback, so that part's not. We just want the best guy at the position.
How's Jack progressing? Is he getting better?
Yeah, great. He's throwing, he's full speed, and he's rolling, so he looked good. Saw him a couple of days, just peeking out my office, saw him throwing a little bit, and he's up to speed, and he's ready to go.
Could you speak to the decision to promote Kurt Campbell just to OC and what you saw in him and why you felt like he was the right guy?
Yeah, I mean, the past 2 years, obviously calling plays, Kurt was right there with me as an analyst my first year and then my second year as a quarterback coach, and he's in my mind, and he thinks like me. He's very creative, very innovative, extremely knowledgeable about the game, run and pass. So, and he's a guy I feel like I can trust to run that offense and run the staff and be the head coach of the offense. So super excited, and he works his tail off. I mean, we won the national championship, and Kurt Campbell's in there yelling at the screen the day after because somebody's route deck wasn't right. I said, Kurt, go home. We just won the natty, bro. So that's the type of guy you want.
I'm sorry if you've been asked this, but I'm with the Detroit A's. But with men coming to Michigan, Maj going to Michigan State, kind of a swap of players, obviously college football is built on the backbone of rivalries. Do you think kind of the transfer portal is going to change that, or how does that impact? Because obviously both players caught flack from respective fan bases.
Yeah, and I heard about it. I didn't see any of that because I don't really read the Twitter sphere and internet and all that. So, but we're happy we got Jaden. He's a really good player. He's an all Big Ten player, so super stoked for him. And excited for Samaj. He got an opportunity that he felt like he wanted. So good for him and all the blessings for him. But I think the rivalries are still alive, and there's respect in all of them, but they're still alive for sure.
Sure, on the non-football part of your job you were talking about, you've been traveling around meeting with donors. I guess what's the goal of that, and how have they been going?
Yeah, they've been great. I just was in one last night in Chicago, so it's nonstop, but it's great. You get to meet the alumni base, the people that have supported Michigan far longer than I've been there. So it's just cool for me to meet a lot of those guys and women that have supported the university. And my main message is like everything for the players. Not concerned about me, not concerned about anything for me. just as long as we support our players and everything that they need, I'll be happy.
Is there good momentum there, given the national championship?
Oh yeah.
Jim is obviously a big proponent of revenue sharing. How do you feel about the potential that's coming down the pike here?
I feel great about it. I always agreed with him when he initially brought it up, and it should have happened a while ago. So we're super happy that it's going to happen. There's obviously a plan. You have a process of going through. It's got to go through courts and go through different things. So, but we're stoked for it.
We know about the first 4 on the defensive line. What do you like behind them?
Yeah, I mean, you just got really good depth. You got some younger guys, but then you guys that have played, just haven't had that breakout.
Like TJ.
TJ is a guy he's going to have a great year, and he's watched the great edges in front of him, the Aidens, Mike Morris's, Jalen, and Braden. And they all kind of do this whole same process of just put your head down and work, and great nutrition, take care of your body. You see them every day stretching, doing yoga, doing different things to make sure their body and then their mind is right. He's followed the same thing, so super ready for him to break out and have a great one. He had a great spring. There's times where like, man, this dude's he's just wrecking practice sometimes. So it's cool to see a kid like that who you've seen watch and grow and mature in the process.
Who are some of the other young guys in there on the tackle and edge?
Yeah, Eno Etta is a dude that's been really good. Trey Pierce has been really good. Amal Kumba, he's a guy that really just started playing football, but he's going to be really good. And then some of these freshmen, I don't know if they're going to be playing or not, but a guy like Dom Nichols, he's come in and he's had a really good spring. I'm excited to see the guys that just came in like Devin Baxter and Lou Gard and watch those guys, but those guys have done a really good job.
You're kind of in a unique situation with Michigan, obviously coming off of a national championship and you coming in, and I know you were with the team before, but how is it different stepping into a head coaching role with a team that is coming off of that with all the pressure and expectations versus like going somewhere else and being a year one head coach, kind of like Jonathan Stinson?
Yeah, I mean, for me, I never really want anything but to be in a situation that challenges you. And for us, it's just another chip on our shoulder because people are just going to say what they were going to say about the schedule and this and that, and we just block out the noise and go to work. So I'm just happy because I'm at Michigan, and I love this place. I love the people. I love the alumni. I love the students, and most importantly, I love our players like they're my kids. So I'm just happy that I can lead this program.
Do you welcome a difficult schedule? I mean, the non-conference is a little more tough than it's been previous years.
Yeah, I mean, love it, need it, want it. We want competition, and it just makes you better. So that's all we want.
Is Amir Hall another Josh Wallace type, do you think? What have you seen?
Yeah, you know what? It's funny you say that. His personality is just like Josh.
Really?
It's like just a very humble, great kid. The first thing he said when I talked to him was, "Coach, I just want to help you win another championship." And like, when you have kids like that come in the building, it means a lot. So he gets it. He's a great human being, great family. So super stoked and ready for him to impact our team.
What does Wesley Walker bring to the table?
Yeah, experience, physical. Dude loves to tackle and hit. Really good cover guy. I think he hasn't let up a touchdown in his career there. So he's just a dude, and then he's a leader. Like, you can tell he's a leader. You go back and look him up. Like all the media days, he was there. Anytime they had media with players, he was doing it. So that's a pretty cool thing that somebody else was doing that. So that's what we try to bring guys like that.
You said you were at that dinner event in Chicago, but I remember how they were able during that dead period to just take a breath, relax.
Yeah, I got to hang out a little bit. Got a pool backyard and hot tub now, so I got to sit back there and swim with my 4-year-old and my 1-year-old. Just splashed around, family. So it was great. Had a little food, watched Moana. Saw Moana Part 2's coming out in November, so all the kids. There's a plug for you there, but that was good. It was
That's
good.
Isaiah's
really
favorite movie.
Really? I just like Disney stuff.
It's a great one. It's good.
How much is the portal?
Thanks, guys.
When you're going in the portal, is it instant impact versus also even now sometimes getting guy for 2-3 years down the line?
I mean, just best player, but best fit. So whoever the best fit is, the best player for our culture and who we are, that's what we're going to bring.
Is that the same approach for OV season? The next, can you just
Absolutely.
I was here a minute or two, like if you've spoken to that, just your mentality.
Yeah, same thing. I mean, we're going to find the best players that we can to fill the spots that we need, and guys that fit our program that are continue to stay aligned in what we do.
How have you seen Jair mature, and what do you expect from him?
Yeah, I feel really good about Jair. He's just taking a step. You only get better at football by playing it, so he really did a good job last year, made some really big plays and made some big things. And in the spring, he just really took that next step and trying to challenge for that spot. So yeah, he's going to be a guy that's going to play a lot of football for us this year and years to come. And he's just taking that next step, really learning the game even more. So being in the room with Mikey Samsel will do that to you.
I know you talked about like best player available, best fit, but when you were evaluating high school recruits and prospects and also looking at the transfer portal and stuff, like how do you balance, those two avenues of roster?
Yeah, I mean, for us, it really is as simple as that. We're going to scout and figure out who's going to fit in the positions of needs, and any guy that's going to challenge somebody on our team, that's what we're going to want. And we're going to want people that have the same vision as our players, because if they don't, it's not going to work.
How do you sell that in a day where guys are transferring for money and playing time and everything else? How do you get guys doing that?
You guys do what?
How do you land guys doing that with that sell?
Yeah, I mean, it's pretty simple. You got a whole bunch of talented guys on your roster. You want to be really good, you're going to surround yourself with talented guys. Because if you don't want that challenge, then that's probably not going to be for you. When you get to the next level, you're going to be around a lot of talented guys all the time. And if you don't do it that way, then why will you go to the NFL? You're not going to just change your mindset. So we're going to want the same type of mindset.
How important is it to build instant relationships for you guys?
What'd you say?
How important is it to build instant relationships?
Yeah, very. We want to be around those coaches. We want them to be around us. We want to know everything about every prospect that's in the state, and make sure we're recruiting them as hard as anybody in the country.
When you just like speak and find those guys.
Yeah, it was cool. It was awesome. Super stoked to be around here. Obviously been in the state now for 11 years. At Central for 4, and this is year 7 here. So I've been in this camp and been seeing the evolution of this camp and how it's gone. It's done so much for the community. It's done so much for just the country in general and recruiting. So just, it was a cool experience to let that happen.
What do you want in your overall takeaway from this campus?
Yeah, I just want to see kids work hard and, take the process day by day, take the process skill by skill, and make sure they just do everything they can to get better. And, I want our staff to go out there and evaluate these guys and be thorough with their evaluations to see if there's anybody that can help us.
Do you believe strongly this year as last year that this group has what it takes to win the national championship? Do you feel as strongly right now as you maybe did last year that this team can win another national championship?
Yeah, last year at this point I feel the same way as I do now about the team that we had last year. You go into a training camp, you go into summer, you go into training camp, and you go put your head down and work. And your goal is always to do that. Are you going to win a national championship every year? You hope so. But our goal is to just win every game. And we're going to try to do that every single way possible and go through the process of doing that. So we're not going to look forward on what game's here, what's in this game, win this game. We're just going to take it day by day. Right? You only can take one step in front of the other. Only person that flies over mountains is Superman. He's in comics, so that's not us. So we got to take a step at a time.
I think Detroit was the most well-represented city in the NFL the last couple of years.
Mm-hmm.
Can you talk about the quality of players in Detroit and how much you feel like you're making a lot of inroads?
Yeah, I think what you find is blue-collar, tough, hard-working people that love the city, that love Michigan. So that's the biggest thing we're looking for, is those type of guys and those type of players and those type of people. And it's cool to watch Detroit. It's cool to watch the Lions and the different teams, the professional teams that have success. But it just feeds off of us and lets us feed off of them.
How much did you recruit that area? I mean, I know you've done Chicago a lot. I mean, just like you've been going back to
I did a good bit when I did more at CMU than I did here. I did a little bit here, like when I was here, part of Will Johnson and some of those guys. So I did a little bit of Detroit, and then as my roles got bigger, I just expanded out to different places.
What's your expectations for Will this year?
Man, to be the best corner in the country. Dude just doesn't stop working. I gotta tell him sometimes, bro, you gotta chill, man. You can't just keep doing it. So he's not satisfied with anything. He's not satisfied with hype. He's not satisfied with any of that. It's cool to be around those type of players, because usually you're pushing those players to be great. And when you have a guy like that who has all the hype around him, who has all the postseason success from last year, and you know, he's done it at the biggest stage, and he's made plays, but he doesn't care. Like, he just wants to work and get better. So that's, for me, it's just cool to watch that. I'm just here to support him in any way I can.
How does that workhorse mentality that he had kind of, you know, pass on to other guys that are in the room with him, or other guys even on the team? Just kind of like be
Yeah, it's a contagious energy that everybody in the building has. Like, everybody works. Just everybody works. You'll go walk by downstairs, and there'll be a quarterback, and they're going with receivers. There'll be DBs, and there'll be D linemen, there'll be O linemen, there'll be running backs. So, I mean, everybody just works. So it's not really something you have to say. It's more of like, did you go get your extra work today? And it's not us saying, it's the players calling each other out. So it's something that's been built. And, we're just here to support it in any way we can. And sometimes you just got to pull them back. And that's the biggest thing that we have to do.
What stood out to you from the film of the spring game after you watched it?
Yeah, it was awesome. It was, you know, it's cool to watch our players in a game-like simulation situation. So we've done a lot of, like, you know, situational stuff, and you know, when we scrimmage, we get physical and we hit, we tackle. So that's what you want to see. You want to see that. You want to see people hit. You want to see people run the ball, catch the ball, and tackle. So it was good to see that, and just super stoked for the next step.
When you're weighing position battles, where do you compare the game compared to the rest of the spring?
I mean, the game, it's just limited snaps. I mean, there's some position battles that we definitely had that we looked at like, okay, well, this guy took a little step forward, this guy took a little step forward, but you got fall camp. Fall camp's a whole different animal. So there's no position battles that are done right now. I mean, position battles like last year in the O-line, there was guys changing during game weeks. So everybody's competing all the time. So you can't keep anybody comfortable.
Your focus has been on player retention, you know, and how much was that a factor in not going and seeking to maybe another, you know, person, quarterback, also sending a message to your team that, you know, that's
I mean,
leadership position.
I think you had to player retention. You got in a transition, and there was things going on, and we had to make sure we kept our core. So. Yeah, for us, we just felt like we're in a good situation in every position to go compete.
You think that sends a message to the team when you're not actively going in the portal, seeking the alternatives, I guess, you know, at premium positions necessarily, like quarterback or such, that you're not, you know, you're choosing that as a leader, and also inviting kind of the culture that you're trying to create, I guess.
Yeah, I mean, but I think our kids they invite competition, so they don't really care. They don't care who's there, as long as they can help. That's all they want. They don't care who it is. They just want people that are going to be able to help us to win, and regardless of who the name is, who the person is, they don't really care.
It's just kind of the viewpoint or approach of this month with, you know, the non-early enrollees should be coming to campus.
Yeah.
Summer workouts, I'm sure.
Yeah.
The lifting program might have started.
Yeah, so it started. Their freshmen are doing their baseline evaluations where we test everything that you can think of. The older guys have started working out yesterday, and they're getting after it. I was there this morning. They're already. It's not much I have to say. It's just me watching, observing, and smiling. I was just watching them push each other, and the hard work already getting done. So yeah, that's where they're at. They're working out right now. They'll do football stuff. They'll do lifting. They'll meet on their own and do different things. So they're in the process of getting better right now.
Is Gio healed up, and your thoughts on the offensive line coming up?
Yeah, he's good. He's good. He's doing really good. So excited for Gio, and the line should be good. You know, obviously we lost guys, but years before we lost guys, so that's going to happen. You know, Trevor and Zinner couldn't play there for 10 years, so even though they probably wish they could. But we feel really good about the guys that we got, and the little battles within each group.
Yep.
But the mindset, the foundation of who we are and what that group is in that room. So just ready to see what the next guys do.
Is Preeb okay? I saw you had that nasty cut or something.
Yeah, he got a great cut. It was awesome. It was so cool.
How did it happen?
I think it was going against Mason Graham, and pass pro, helmet, fire. So the cool thing about that thing, he's got that big slit in his mouth, and he kept playing. And he kept playing. It was bleeding like all over the place, and we're like, whoa, Preeb, you're bleeding. He's like, huh? And then he just kept playing. So 2 minutes. I was just like, what? So, and then he came out, and then we had to get stitches. But yeah, that's how practice is sometimes. Sometimes you get a busted lip and you got to get stitches. So.
Gentry and Crippen, can you just talk about how those guys did this spring?
Yeah, Crippen was really good. You know, I saw him take a step really mentally. that's really where he needed to do, because physically he could do it. And so mentally, just calming his mind down. He's really good at that. And then Gentry is really good too. And we played him in multiple spots. So obviously we play guys in different spots. We don't want to harpoon ourselves and put ourselves just in, hey, you got to play here, you got to play here. So move those guys around, and it was really good for him. And all those guys got valuable experience last year, because a lot of games, I mean, they played 9 games last year. So they all played in games, in big-time games. So ready for them to take the next step.
Nick Saban said that you guys were the best coach O-line in the country. What did that mean to you, and what's your confidence in Grant to kind of keep that going?
Yeah, I didn't even know that. That's
said it during
cool.
the draft. Yeah.
Okay, that's cool. I saw something about like JJ, and I didn't even hear that comment, but that's an awesome statement from one of probably arguably the best college coach in college history. So, and I've had the chance to talk to him about a couple times just about head coach life and things like that. So it means a lot. It means a lot to me. It means a lot to the players. But ultimately to me, it's what the players did. So they were phenomenal and excited for the rest of these guys to pick up the next slide.
How ready is Grant to keep that going now that you're in your new
He's
role?
more than ready. He's a beast. I mean, he'll be a head coach in about a couple of years too. So he's a phenomenal for a guy that's his age. He's way out of his age from a mental standpoint, from what he knows, his maturity, how he handles everything. He's a superstar in this business. So he's more than ready. Absolutely.
You mentioned talking to Nick.
It's been more than 100 days since you took over. I mean, what have you learned? Like, how would you reflect on, I guess, this period and, to kind of transition into the head coach role?
It's been fun. It's been outstanding. It's been awesome. Wouldn't take any moment away. You learn from everything, and I'm embracing every day. Like, just never take a day for granted. So I go into Schembeckler Hall every single day, and it's the best day ever. That's my mindset. I'm just so stoked and happy to be a part of the program. Yeah, I'm leading it, but I'm a part of this thing. And it's bigger than me, so I'm just happy to be a part of this program.
Do you feel more settled in the role, I guess, after maybe the initial days? I mean, obviously, you're so conditioned to coach a certain way when you're.
Yeah, I think so. I mean, the cool thing about being a coordinator is that you get to lead a whole bunch of guys. You just lead one side of the ball, so you get a little bit of that. And for me, it was more of the desk work and the stuff I had to do on my desk and the stuff you got to get settled with. The coaching part for me wasn't that hard to get settled into. It's all the other stuff, the making the schedules and that. But Coach left me some good tools to help me. So appreciate you, Coach Harbaugh. But it's been awesome.
You mentioned talking to Saban. Do you find yourself asking other coaches about coach life nowadays? Is that something you do often?
I mean, I think if you're not learning as a coach, then you're failing. Like, there's no coach that just knows it all. So I think you have to continually learn from everybody, from every avenue, any resource that you can get. I definitely try to, plug different coaches, whether it's other football coaches, basketball coaches, different coaches that have done. I mean, our softball coach, she's a legend. So yeah, I ask her stuff too. So everything within an organization and how to run an organization, definitely ask everybody I can.
We've got coaches with play calling experience on both sides of the ball. I mean, what does that do for exchange of ideas in the room and what it takes off your plate?
Yeah, it means we're always going to be collaborative. And we're always going to play a team game. So regardless of who's calling the plays, we're going to feed off of each other and make sure we do it that way. Nobody's just trying to score 8 million points. Nobody's trying to always have these stats or this or that. So the ultimate goal is to win, and we're going to do everything we can to win. So it's great to have play callers on both sides of the ball, and the cool thing is on defense we got all the guys that call plays. So it's cool to have that input in the room with those guys, and just ready to take it day by day and see where the process takes it.
Just to be clear, because there's been back and forth, is Kirk going to be the play caller on offense, or are you going to be involved? Or
we'll see.
That's already decided internally.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, cool.
And as far as just the different aspects of the job, I mean, with the fundraising component, I mean, do you feel like that component, I guess, is probably going to change a little bit with this new revenue sharing, or do you feel like that part of it is going to kind of continue is for
I
you?
think you're going to have to fundraise for the university still, but yeah, you're going to have to fundraise for the NIL piece or whatever that is, and I think there's still going to be a part of that with revenue sharing. Now, you hope at some point that it's not, but I don't know if that'll ever happen. But we don't know. We'll see. So there's not really we have to pass it again to Congress of what it's going to be and what it's going to look like, and then from there, every university has to make a plan of how they're going to do it and how they're going to allocate everything. So we'll see what happens with all that, but you're always going to have to fundraise in some form or fashion.
Do you see it as an advantage for you since you're, a new coach entering this new period as opposed to somebody who may be, stuck in the old system, been around the block for a while, maybe not, may not even have the energy to do this?
Well, I think if they're coaching still, they're going to adapt because they know if they don't, they're going to have a problem. And if they don't want to adapt, they're going to hire somebody that can help them adapt. So regardless, everybody's going to be able to adjust to this time period.
Has the Tennessee injunction changed the way that you recruit preps?
I mean, not really. We've seen what happens, but we're going to still try to commit ourselves to doing it a certain way. Obviously, you have to adjust and have a plan, which we have, and doing different things to adjust our plan and our tactics, but not going down the road of other schools and other ways to do it.
Thanks, Coach.
Awesome. Appreciate it.
Thank you.